Hello everybody, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and today we're going to talk about Black graphic novels. What better time than Black History Month, but these are to be read all year round, so don't feel like you just have to read it now, or if you can't get to it now, these are ones you can read later. If you follow me on Instagram, I talked about several of these books, but I also said that I was going to expand on it and give you more, because it's just really nice to see the other options of ways you can read things by Black authors and also nonfiction. So let's start off with the nonfiction books that I've found. Some are in my own personal collection and others I've gotten from the library. And some of them I've read and some of them I haven't read yet, and I'll be reading them. But I did want to share them with you. This is one in particular that I read that is called March, book 1. There's 3 books, I believe, March 1, books 1, 2, and 3. I've read them all several years ago and loved it. It's by John Lewis, John Lewis, and Andrew Aydin, and the illustrator is Nate Powell. I'm going to say the illustrator's names if I can pull them up, just to say that, because, you know, graphic novels, half of the experience is the illustrations. And so this one is great. It's, you know, it follows John Lewis and it talks about the civil rights movement and the march. It's got black and white, kind of like it's a cool art style. I'm not familiar with all the different names for the art style, but it's really, really, really enjoyable to read. And I just kind of flew through this one, and then I checked the other 2 out from the library and just flew through those at the time. So there's that. I'm going to go fast because I have a lot of books and I want to make sure I can do this in one video rather than many. And this, if you're asking, is because I'm still feeling the love of Valentine's Day. So yeah, we got a little bit of love going on over here. So there's that. So that one I got from the library. I actually don't. I thought I was going to buy it when they had that big Barnes & Noble sale, and I didn't. So I'm kind of regretting that, but I think I will get that for my collection. This one you guys will know if you follow me. I read this because last year was my Frederick Douglass year, and this was the graphic novel that I read about him, and it's called The Life of Frederick Douglass. It's by David F. Walker, and I believe David Smith. I should have wrote these on paper, separate paper. Nope, it's David F. Walker, and the art is by Damon Smith. And I think Marissa Louise is the person that colors it. So there's people that will draw the illustrations, and there's people who do the color. And this one is just really lovely to look at. I like color graphic novels, but I do read other ones with different art styles that don't have necessarily, like March didn't have that, but I still appreciate, I don't think so. I still appreciated it in black and white, but I do, you know, everybody loves color. It just brings it to life. So these are the way that looks. That was really good. And, you know, that's a nonfiction. It's a one way to take a dip in. Maybe you're reading a lot of other books, but you do want to squeeze something in. It's a good entryway to find out about him. And it's an enjoyable experience because you've got, obviously, pictures. This one I got last year when I got that big Barnes & Noble sale of the closing, unfortunately, of ours. And this one, it was a Barnes & Noble's exclusive, and it's Run, Book 1. This is by John Lewis again with Andrew Aydin and Nate Powell. Also, is it Nate Powell was the other one? Yeah, Nate Powell, and also I think Elle Fury did the illustrations for this one. This is the last one before John Lewis passed away. They had approved this, and I think there's one other one to this that I don't know what time it'll come out. And this kind of continues on more memoir-like, but really good. And this one, I did enjoy this one. Let's see, I'll show you the inside of it. It's, again, that same art style, obviously, same illustrator for the other one from March. It's the black and white kind of look to it, but it's fabulous. It's nice. I'm glad to have this one on my shelf. This one, I love the cover of this one, and I had eyeballed it, and then that day that they started really discounting heavily at Barnes & Noble, I picked it up. This is Making Our Way Home, The Great Migration and the Black American Dream. This one would be great to pair with Isabel Wilkinson's, oh my God, I just blanked. The Warmth of Other Suns, you know, because that's a migration book. So I think this would be a nice pair to it. That's a graphic novel. Talking about the same topic, not obviously the same people in specific. This one I have not read yet. Also, I got this again, like I said, last year. And these are the kind of pictures that you're looking at. This one is heavier in text. So if you want to see what doesn't like a lot of pictures, but you want some, this is also a good one because you get some nice pictures, but you get a lot of writing in between. I know last year I read, what graphic novel? I read a graphic novel that was like that and had a lot more text than pictures, but it's still really worth reading. So this one is a powerful illustrated history of the Great Migration, when 6 million Black Americans left the American South for northern and western cities from 1910 through the 1970s, and its sweeping impact on Black and American culture from Reconstruction to the rise of hip hop. So there's that one, right? This one I have not read, and I want to. Now that I have it in my house, I'm going to read it. This is Wake, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts. This would be a great one for Black History Month, by Rebecca Hall, and it's illustrated by Hugo Martinez. And this one is pretty thick, and it has writing, but it is mostly, it's black and white style illustrations with, you know, the text there. So there's a lot, even though it's a lot of pictures, there's a lot of text to this one too. And this one I've just remember seeing something about it. It's blurred by a lot of people, including Angela Davis. And I was excited to see that the library had this. This is the thing, go to your library. I did go to the library, and in addition to looking up things myself and looking for things that I knew existed, I asked the librarian if there's some books that are Black graphic novels that are written either by or about Black people. And I got a couple recommendations that are in this list that I have here. So this one is part graphic novel, part memoir. Wake is an imaginative tour de force that tells the story of women-led slave revolts and chronicles scholar Rebecca Hall's effort to uncover the truth about these warriors who, until now, have been left out of the historical record. This would be a great one to read for Women's History Month, as well as Black History Month, or just in general, right? Because we say all the time, history is all the time we're supposed to be reading. So this would be a really nice one to get to read, and I'm hoping to get to this one. I may hold it hostage past February so that I can read it. So another one that is more for the, I think, geared towards the younger adults, but again, I don't, I've never let that stop me from reading a book. This one is from the, I guess it's Hazardous Tales series, the Abolitionist Tale. It's called The Underground Abductor, and it is by, I think I had the name. This is by, where is it? Nathan Hale, who also did the illustrations for it. And this is an interesting one. So these are also cool style. It's black and white with one other color. So this is black and white with the purple, which really is kind of nice, right? It's really pretty to me. So this one, it says, a brave woman who knew well the injustice and cruelty of slavery. Araminta Rose was born a slave in Delaware. After years of break-backing labor and the constant threat of being sold and separated from her family, she escaped and traveled north to freedom. Once there, she changed her name to Harriet Tubman. As an abductor on the Underground Railroad, she risked her life, helping countless slaves escape to freedom. Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tales are graphic novels that tell the thrilling, shocking, gruesome, and true stories of American history. Read them all if you dare. And so that's what this one is. So that's something. All right, so the next one I have not read. I saw the graphic novel of this one a long time ago on Hoopla, and I almost read it there, but I'm kind of really leaning towards reading this in the physical form. And this is Black and Proud, James Brown, by Xavier Falthau. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it says, the godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite, the hardest working man in show business. A legend of popular music whose influence and appeal reach audiences to this day comes to life in this original graphic novel. Born in the South during the height of segregation, James Brown went on to become a global sensation, using his immeasurable talent to pursue what he believed was the American dream. Join the charismatic, hardworking, and sometimes tyrannical band leader on a journey down the roads of America with a group of talented musicians spreading the sounds of funk and soul throughout the country. Told against the backdrop of changing America during the civil rights era of the 1960s, this is a story of a man and his band that will go on to revolutionize the world of pop music. So this one is really pretty too inside. I love this style. I love this cover. I love how that's done. I wish I knew what you call these styles, but I do love this. This is the definite gonna be read book for me. I really want to read that one. So you have that. And our last nonfiction in here, I read this one as a ebook a couple years ago. I don't think it was last year. I feel like it was the year before. And this is When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed, sorry. I was like reading it, transposing the letters. It's Omar Mohammed. And this is the story of Omar's life. And first of all, it's just gorgeous. And I almost am tempted to buy this one. I've read it already, but this is the pictures in it. Like, these are what it looks like inside this book, right? But there's like so many really beautiful, beautiful scenes in here. It's just great. Okay. So this one, let me read the back to you. Refugee camps are supposed to be a temporary place to stay until it's safe to go back home. I guess no one expected the war to last so long, though, because Hassan and I have been here for 7 years. So these two children get kind of stuck, kind of in a limbo. And it talks about his story, about how he and his brother were able to get out. And he was in a refugee camp, I believe, in Kenya. Yeah, in Kenya. And it's just a touching story about him, the experience, the people, the care that, you know, strangers have for other people that are in the same situation. And how you don't think about, you know, people being in limbo. Like, do they go to school? Well, he did go to a school while he was doing that. But it talks about, you know, what he had to go through to get this education. And it's really good. Just read it. It's good. I remember reading it and really enjoying it and just thinking it's a beautiful book, and it's just beautiful to look at. So that's that one. Now we're going to move on to the fiction, and I only have a few of those. I hope that I'm doing good in time. I'm going to take a quick sip of the tea, and then okay, we're going to zoom through this. This one was when I went up to the librarian and I asked her, and this is one of the ones she came up with. She came up with a couple other ones. I was like, man, I don't know. This one is probably kind of a young adult, but I still think that, again, we could still enjoy this as an adult. And this is called Nubia Real One, and it's by L.L. McKinney. And I think there's another one to this, if I'm correct. But it says, Nubia has always been a little bit different. As a baby, she showcased Amazonian strength by pushing over a tree to rescue her neighbor's cat. But despite Nubia's similar abilities, the world has no problem telling her that she's no Wonder Woman. Even if she were, they wouldn't want her. Every time she comes to the rescue, she's reminded of how people see her or as a threat. Her moms do the best to keep her safe, but Nubia can't deny the fire within her, even if she's a little awkward about it sometimes, even if it means people assume the worst. When Nubia's best friend, Keisha, is threatened by a boy who thinks he owns the town, Nubia will risk it all, her safety, her home, and her crush on that cute kid in English class to become the hero society tells her she isn't. So this is Nubia, and these are the pictures in here. I'm loving it. And this one is, the illustrator is Robin Smith. So there's a little look in it. Sometimes that helps too. You know, if you get a little chance to look inside a book, it might help persuade you also, in addition to the cover, to read a book too. All right, so there's that one. This one I had saw a long time ago, and I think it was when I was out comic book shopping with my son, and the first issue was coming out, and I was like, oh, do I want to go down the path? I've kind of since, yeah, I think right around that time, I decided that I was going to start doing the bind-ups of graphic novels. And so I was like, I will wait until this comes out in a bind-up so that I have one book, as opposed to, because I have like comic books in sleeves and just like the works, and it takes up a lot of space. So this one is by N.K. Jemisin, for all of you that do know N.K. Jemisin, and it's called Far Sector, and it's the art of the book is, the illustration is by Jamal Campbell. And this is the cover, which is fabulous, right? Wait, yeah. And the artwork in here, I'm buying my own copy, but I'm going to read it first from the library. I am getting the copy of this. It is, to me, so stunning. Like, just going to be so enjoyable to read it, right? Look at that, right? Can you see it? Okay. So let me tell you about it and see if you want to read it. So if you're interested in fiction, some fiction by Black authors, and Black characters. This one says, the first murder in 500 years, 20 billion suspects, one hope. The city enduring, a booming metropolis at the edge of the universe, hasn't experienced a violent crime in generations. The emotion exploit has erased its citizens' full range of feelings, allowing three resident races to overlook their turbulent history and coexist peacefully until now. Rookie Green Lantern Sojourn Joe Mullion is still adjusting to her assignment to protect this strange world when a brutal murder rattles its social order, threatening to undergo centuries of controversial progress. As the populace rises up against the legacy of the emotion exploit and leaders grapple for power under the threat of a new war, Jo must rely on her unique instincts as a Green Lantern and the only human in the sector to solve the crime and guide the city enduring toward a more promising future. So I probably won't get to this month, but I want to read it, and then I want to get it from my shelf because I think that I need to have it. Look at that. Look at that, right? Look at that. It's so pretty. Gotta read it. Then I got two more. Next one I read a long time ago. Enjoyed it, and now I know that there's a part 2 to it, and it's called Abbott. And this is by, of course, they put the sticker right on. Is it on his name? Saladin Ahmed, and the illustrations are by Sammy. Nope, wait. Illustration is by Sammy Cavella. Oh, that's interesting. So anyhow, I'll read the back to you. And the art style in this one is really funky too. I liked it. So I'm excited. I'm pretty sure that I remember hearing that there was another book 2 to this, so I do want to read it. It says, in the uncertain social and political climate of 1972 Detroit, hard-nosed, chain-smoking tabloid reporter Elena Abbott investigates a series of grisly crimes that the police have ignored. Crimes she knows to be the work of a dark occult forces that took her husband from her, forces she has sworn to destroy. And that's all it says in the back, but it was really good. Here's a little peek inside. Let's see if I can get another page. So you can see it. It's not that big. I definitely recommend this one. It was very good. And I'm looking forward to the second one. Now, this one I read last year, I think. And I picked it up because, A, I love the cover. But also, it was Roxane Gay. And I haven't read anything by Roxane Gay. Yep, I haven't. I think I have 2 books of hers. Still haven't read them yet. And I was like, well, at least I can read a graphic novel she wrote. She wrote this along with, I think, Tracy Lynn Oliver, and it's called The Sacrifice of Darkness. Now, the cover is fabulous, right? And the inside, and the pictures are really pretty too. Pretty cool, like looking, right? I'll read you the back, and then I'll give you my opinion on it. It says, it's when I was a young girl, my husband's father flew an air machine into the sun. Since then, the days have been dark, the nights bright. Follow the journey of 2 young adults, Joshua and Claire, each individually shaped by the day the sky went dark, but drawn to each other because of it. Coming of age in this new landscape, they will be forced to confront and challenge notions of identity, guilt, and survival as the darkness grows around them. When fear threatens to envelop all hope they have left, the two discover that love, family, and finding the true light in a world seemingly robbed of any will guide you forward. So, I like this, but I felt like there should have been more. Like there's needed to be more story. Like we kind of had, I felt it kind of left me hanging. And I don't know if it's because they're going to write another one or they already had it in the works. That was my only thought. But don't let me deter you. Read it and see if you think that. This one, again, is the easy one to get to from most libraries. And see what you think. And maybe there is another one since then. I just felt like, to me, it just kind of was so abrupt. And I felt like we could have had more or something else. I don't know. But it was good. It was good. It just wasn't as, I feel like they just needed a little bit more meat to it. So those are the books. I'm going to pick it up like people always do. Look at that. Look at how many books this were. So you can't tell me, Black History Month, you can't find something to read. This is a great opportunity to read something that'll take less time, obviously, than reading a bigger book, but you see how much nonfiction you can actually get nonfiction and learn something, and then you can read some nonfiction just to kind of relax, but know that you're reading something with Black characters and by Black authors. So there you have it. I have a post on my site with these again, so if you don't remember them, you don't want to go back to the video, you could go to the website and look at that. And I had the Instagram I did a few days ago that I did like a quick, you know, just to look through to see the tops of them and the insides a little bit again. So if you don't want to watch this again, you can actually get the information for the books on my blog. So I will talk to you, and I'll put links for that also below. Have a great day and read some graphic novels. Bye.